We would love it if all of them had to play.
You would?
Because that means that all of them are playing at a really high level, and you want as many good players as you can. Not thinking about next year, not thinking about Georgia, not thinking about ECU, not thinking about Clemson, thinking about Texas A&M. And just understanding that they will be a really good football team. They will have a lot of receivers that can run, running backs that can break tackles. They'll have a quarterback that can make the right read. So the only way you can win a game, the only way you can play well is if you have a bunch of guys playing at a high level. So if Rico McWilliams developed and was playing at a high level, great. DJ Smith was playing at a high level, great. Chris Lamont, if all of them were playing at a high level and were in a position where they could go out and help this defense play well and help this team win, then that's what we want. So we don't have this person is going to red shirt mentality or anything like that. We're coaching all of them hard. We're coaching all of them, teaching them the way to play the position, and hoping that they'll be ready to play against Texas A&M.
Thanks, Grady.
Have you ever had a group that's this young with this much uncertainty as a coach?
I have. There has not been a time in my 15-year career until I would say the last 2 years where I knew I could count on 2 guys or 3 guys that had always played. And as you think about it, my first year here, that was Bryson Williams' first year really being a full-time starter. So it's not foreign territory to have to get young players ready to play. And it's actually fun. It's a challenge. It's a welcome challenge, and it's fun. And we recruited guys that would embrace this opportunity.
Is that, as I guess you call it a coaching tool, that you can go to all these young guys and say, hey, if you practice well and you do what we're telling you can play this year, to get their attention more than maybe like last year when all the spots were pretty much set.
Right. But even last year, the spots were not set. You saw the guys that always competed the hardest, and you saw the guys that always played at a high level, and you saw guys that knew the defense and knew how to get lined up. So I don't think anything has been set over the past years, but now that it is evident, you can see it. You know, if I'm a player, you can see that it's not set outside of me just telling you that as a coach. But again, we recruited guys that we knew would embrace having the opportunity to play on the big stage, and they're working very hard every day to get ready to play against Texas A&M.
You mentioned, I guess, at media day at the golf outing that cornerback is a spot where guys can come in and kind of give you immediate help. What have you been? Probably been asked this already, but what have you seen from the three newcomers in the first 2 days in shorts that makes you think maybe they can come in and help?
Well, we can erase the word maybe because it's a necessity. Like I said, Texas A&M will play with 4 and 5 guys at receiver, and it'll be 5 guys on the field, and it'll be 3 or 4 guys on the sideline waiting for those guys to come out. So you'll need as many good players as you can, but the young guys have done a really good job of competing. They compete. They're very aggressive, tough, physical, and there may have been some holding penalties first couple of days of practice, but you would rather have to slow a man down than to speed him up. So they're aggressive. They're anxious to have an opportunity to play and get on the field. And I would say the biggest surprise to me is these guys, including the ones that have been here, like Rico and Jamari, they all seem to be unselfish. They all seem to be excited when one of them makes a play. It's not a pouting saying, I wish I was in there, I would have made that play. I mean, those guys high-five each other, and celebrate with each other. So they're gelling pretty good right now.
And I guess probably comes without saying, but all 3 of them probably also seem to have the mentality that they're not scared of the challenge. They kind of want to be out there.
No, being afraid doesn't seem to be a emotion that's in our room, and it's hard to play the defensive back position if you are afraid. because mistakes will happen, but you just have to go out and play fast. And I would say that's something that's standing out as I think about it. They're making mistakes, surely, but they're making full speed mistakes, and you can live with that as a coach.
And how much of a help has Bryson been as the elder statesman kind of the group?
Bryson is doing a good job. We don't talk much about leaders. Kind of believe that leaders will eventually emerge. And worst case scenario, that's why I'm hired. That's why Coach Spurrier hired me to lead the defensive backs. So I don't really get into trying to force anyone into a leadership position. But I see a difference in Bryson. Bryson is his own person, if that makes sense to you. He's making his own decisions. You know, he's making better choices. He's taking care of his body. If you've seen him lately, he looks better from a physical standpoint than he has in years past. He's made a lot of decisions independent of anyone else that will benefit this football team and that will benefit him in the long run. So I'm very pleased with where Bryson is mentally and physically right now.